dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We back with another Sunny V. We got Salt Bae's empire is starting to collapse. Remember who this is, right?
Yeah.
We ain't seen him do that in a long time, so
yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I remember, I remember who it was. Or who he is, rather.
So is this more of, before we dive into it, is this probably more of you only as relevant as you are on social media when you blow up on social media? For having relevancy because of social media? You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because people fail to realize, like, social media is a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Like, your famous success is surrounded by social media, but once you are not as relevant and not as hot on those social media platforms, your everything else around you starts to collapse as well.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it's always important to have a slow growth instead of a fast and blow up because of social media. Because as fast as you blow up, somebody else is gonna blow up that fast as well, and people forget about you. But as long as your come up is slow and steady, and you like not trying to rush it and boom, or even trying to compete with somebody else's lane, you'll always have those solid foundation of people who always gonna fuck with you, you know? Because we've seen it plenty of times where people have blown up like buku fast, and then look down the line 4 or 5 years later, and they're not as relevant anymore.
True.
And we see that all social media platforms. So I don't know what this is gonna be about, but before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box
down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you have to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
You know he has a restaurant too, right?
I do.
You know anybody who's ate there?
Not personally.
Not personally. I just seen people say reviews on it, and I personally heard the food is not that pleasing. Good. You know, and I heard it lacks. You know, because this ain't just seasoning. You know, they just it's a little more razzle dazzle. You just can't throw salt on everything.
Restaurant closures, rapidly declining reviews, and his lowest growth on Instagram in over 6 years. Things have gone from bad to worse for Salt Bae, which is best observed by looking at each controversy up until this unfavorable point. His first time in hot water came just months after Salt Bae first went viral, occurring when fans scrolled back through his Instagram to find this photo commemorating the life of Fidel Castro in the days after his death. At around the same time, Salt Bae had recently opened a steakhouse in Miami, a city to which approximately 500,000 Cubans had fled to as a result of Castro's leadership. Some people just don't think. To post pics like this and then open a restaurant in Miami. Really? I just called and cancelled 2 reservations and told them how I feel about their salt guy and his post. Picture posted a few days after Castro's death. Nice thought, WTF. He should open in Cuba and sprinkle his salt over there. The comments on the post itself echoed a similar sentiment, leading Salt Bae to remove the picture. However, he'd find himself in a similar controversy less than a year later. In September 2018, Salt Bae came under scrutiny once again for providing a feast to the Venezuelan president, who governs a country in which 64% of people have reported losing significant amounts of weight, 11 kilos or 24 pounds on average, amid worsening food shortages. As a Venezuelan, it angers me seeing my president feasting on a meal while me and my family were starving. I cannot believe this video. This guy eating tomahawk steaks or whatever that is, and the people from his country dying of hunger. Food tastes so much better when you know the folks back home are starving. After the Venezuelan president then explained that Salt Bae had personally invited him to the restaurant, protests broke out in front of Salt Bae's Miami restaurant, with one sign reading, "Did you know, Salt Bae, that in the time it took you to wine and dine dictator Maduro with your bloody meat, at least one Venezuelan child died of extreme malnutrition. However..."
Hey, this is when you gotta know how to move strategically. It ain't always about pleasing those that are high power. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be smart. Just open up a restaurant and feed. I ain't personally inviting nobody.
If they come, they come. I'm not gonna
be
like...
And you picking and choosing people who
and then
have
having
power.
it all on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like you know what I'm saying? Like, if because of Biden's in office and you invite Biden personally, you got, all these people who don't like Biden gonna feel some type of way about you. Like it's the same thing like all over the board. So you gotta be smart. Just be like, hey, if he comes, I'll make sure I stop by and speak to him if I'm there at the restaurant. But I'm not gonna make it out of my way.
Go out of my way to
Yeah.
Duro with your bloody meat, at least one Venezuelan child died of extreme malnutrition. However, this might not have even been Salt Bay's biggest controversy for the month. Only 8 days after these protests, a new article was posted reading, 4 tourists are set on fire at Instagram star Salt Bay's Istanbul restaurant, which had happened as a result of a fire show gone wrong. One of the tourists who'd been set on fire was a Czechoslovakian YouTuber and model named Tina Stresnikova, who suffered burns to more than 35% of her body and can be seen with slight but visible burn scars on her Instagram even till this day. Her 23-minute video on the topic, translating to "the moment that changed my life," is unfortunately spoken in Czechoslovakian without subtitles. However, an article posted a year after the incident stated that Tinus had received no compensation for the mistake and that the restaurant had instead destroyed all evidence related to the incident. Salt Bay did eventually pay out $230,000 in compensation, although not to Tinus for permanently altering her appearance, but rather to 4 mistreated employees in Salt Bay's next big controversy. The 4 employees claim that Salt Bay was taking 3% from their total tips, which was followed by Salt Bay firing the 4 employees after being confronted about it. As a result, the employees launched a wrongful termination lawsuit, explaining that their former boss had an authoritarian, dictatorial attitude who doesn't care about local laws. They even suggested Salt Bay likened himself to Tony Montana and humiliated them on occasions in the lawsuit.
That's fucked up, bro. hey, honestly, just from what I've seen just in this 3 minutes, I'm like, yeah, that shit gonna clouds, bro. You taking crazy money from your servers who work there. Nigga, you own the restaurant. You got social media stats. You making money, bro. You don't need my percentage out of what I make. I'm already like, if you worked in the service industry, you already know you don't make. And I know people like, hey, if you know me, if you don't want to be doing it, then you shouldn't join up for the job. So let's say this: if the law stays the same, right, and all servers only make like 2 something, well, it always differs by state.
Where you at?
But if it's always like that, right? And servers say, hey, we feel as though we deserve at least minimum wage. Minimum wage still ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Like, still, because a lot of people who serve make more, But let's just say they all decide to boycott and not even work in the service industry. You know how mad you're going to be because you go to restaurants and they be like, hey, we only got takeout because you can't dine in because we don't have anybody who wait on you.
All right.
You know how pissed off we've seen y'all pissed off like that when it came down to the pandemic and y'all couldn't go sit down places. Oh y'all need to hire people. People should come wait on me. Like, come on now, but you don't want to tip, True. And then y'all don't want to pay that much for the meal that y'all get. So you got to meet somewhere,
Salt Bay responded by stating, I don't get a share of the employees' tips. I've never done that in any of my restaurants. I was not satisfied with the performance of the 4 employees. They didn't match my understanding of work. They weren't as good as I wanted, so I terminated their contract right away. Yet these 4 employees weren't the only ones claiming that they'd been mistreated while working for Salt Bay. A former employee at the Nusret restaurant in London described it as gold from the outside but shit from the inside, whilst another compared the working environment to the Hunger Games, as staff never knew if they'd be fired during a shift, with a third likening the restaurateur to a dictator. Former employee Frank DeFano stated that he was treated poorly as a result of being American, while another former manager explained his world was nothing but Instagram and fame. The sensation was him. He ended up getting this godlike complex, highlighting Salt Bay's next big problem. With massive artworks of his one viral moment and every 3rd Instagram picture being him working out shirtless, it seems Salt Bay is just a bit too full of himself, and while some degree of ego might be necessary for success, he takes it to a whole new level. When interviewed by The Times in 2019, Salt Bay seemed convinced that every kid wanted to be him, stating, now everybody wants to be a butcher because of me. Now if you ask a kid, they want to be Salt Bay. They see me as an idol. I'm an inspiration to a lot of people in a very short period of time, also always taking the opportunity to brag about money.
Actually, if y'all watch this, y'all got kids. Ask y'all kids if they want to be a butcher. Hell, a lot of them say, I don't even know what that is. Or they gonna say, hell no, I want to be. Or they gonna want to be their favorite athlete or their favorite actor. Some kids still want to be Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. Like, last thing they want to be is Salt Bae. I want to be Gordon Ramsay before I be Salt Bae. I don't want to be known for just this shit, bro. What the hell? No, bro, I want to be known for all of my dishes, not sprinkling salt on some damn steak. Come on.
Posted an $8,000 bill as well as a different $47,000 bill, yet the picture that really kicked up a stink was the $167,000 bill posted to Salt Bae's Instagram with the title "Quality Never Expensive." The opulent bill mixed with his arrogant description prompted comments such as, "I have eaten in your restaurant, quality is questionable, and I've eaten there, the food was not good," with this sentiment being echoed by countless different people. YouTube channel Google Foods ordered the $2,000 steak before stating this:
"It was not what we expected. For $2,000, I gotta say, I thought it would be way bigger."
Also adding that the $275 tomahawk steak had been cooked incorrectly.
"That was rare even though we ordered medium rare. Now there's nothing wrong with rare steak, but if you order medium rare, you should get what you paid for."
A different YouTuber, UA Eats, who was looking to give a purely objective review, stated that the waiter's performance was fun, yet the quality of the food was no better than any other steakhouse. On TripAdvisor, Salt Bae's London restaurant is ranked at 15,200 out of 15,700 restaurants, with its rating of 2.5 stars, making it worse than 96.8% of all other restaurants in the city. The steakhouse features predominantly terrible and one-star reviews, with most complaining about horrible quality, bad service, and so incredibly expensive for such a bad quality of food. This guy was upset after the restaurant charged him 44 British pounds for 4 Red Bulls. However, at least he didn't call the police after finding out the price, which is what happened over in Florida.
$44 for 4 Red Bulls.
Child,
So that's
$11 Red Bulls
$11 for a Red Bull. See, I would have asked the price before.
You ain't
So
going thinking it's about to.
How much is a Red Bull? 11. How much y'all water? You gotta pay for that too. Damn. I know y'all just get out the faucet, but shit, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Y'all got a glass. $2 for the glass. Bitch, who y'all think y'all is? $2. How about you top it out with some ice? $4. Damn, I'm just go to the faucet and I'm gonna have that bitch on cold. How long does it take the faucet to cool down? 5 minutes? I'll wait.
You're crazy.
It's cold water.
Eating at Salt Bae Steakhouse in Miami, Dwayne Miranda ordered 2 standard $275 tomahawk steaks, yet he was instead unknowingly presented with 2 golden tomahawk steaks, being charged more than $5,000 for his meal when he eventually got to the counter. We ordered 2 tomahawk steaks and a rack of lamb for the table. When the bill came, we were shocked by the total. They insisted that we ordered the golden option and charged us $1,000 for each. We absolutely did not order that option, although we did eat what was brought to the table thinking this was the normal presentation for our order. It was clear that the waiter was trying to take advantage of the situation. After disputing the misunderstanding with management, they decided to involve local law enforcement rather than do the right thing. We paid the disputed $5,000 bill to avoid further conflict, yet this was still minor in comparison to what happened at Salt Bae Steakhouse in Boston. After opening up on the 18th of September 2020, the restaurant, quote, almost immediately began racking up health code violations. City inspectors reported that COVID-19 safety guidelines were being flouted, crowds were not social distancing, 2 fire exits were blocked, permits were not in order, the dishwasher was not running hot enough, and the refrigerators were apparently too cold, leading the government to shut the restaurant down only 1 week after opening.
Now, the first part,
them last ones.
but them last 2, those the big 2, the old big 2. The rest of it, I'm like, all right, it was during the pandemic, you know what I'm saying? Everybody came. But those last 2, they can get your ass sick.
I mean, all of them during that time.
Well, I'm just saying because of the time, but I'm like,
oh, and then the fire, that's a hazard too. That's a safety hazard. Let's be real, we're in a restaurant, anything can happen. But yeah, but definitely, that dishwasher one and...
But that dishwasher one for sure, and that, yeah.
I ain't worked in a restaurant before, but I want that water be
so
back
that shit,
there sizzling.
Yeah. I have felt that steam. That'd be his little baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
In the meantime, Salt Bae posted this seemingly wholesome family photo to his Instagram, yet this would also end in another wave of criticism. Turkey chef Salt Bae meets mother after 2 years, criticized for not looking after her. It seems Salt Bae was getting loads of backlash in every situation, regardless of whether or not he deserved it. For example, when a waiter at one of his restaurants accidentally dropped a steak, Salt Bae was getting roasted in the comments by people saying that he was going to charge them twice. People simply didn't like him, so when he'd actually do something deplorable in December 2022, the whole world took it as a chance to completely and utterly destroy him. After Argentina beat France in the World Cup final, Salt Bae waltzed onto the field as if he was everybody's best friend. He pestered Messi for a photo, snatched the World Cup from a baby, and bit down on one of the winners' medals, prompting negative comment after negative comment, as well as an instant response from the media who wrote, "Salt Bae was pathetically thirsty to get World Cup selfies and pissed off Argentina in the process." Only a day later, the FIFA president unfollowed Salt Bae on Instagram before launching an investigation into how Salt Bae was allowed on the field, revealing that only the World Cup winners and heads of state are allowed to touch the trophy during the closing ceremony, let alone kiss and disrespect it. The next day, Salt Bae tried to show that he and Messi were friends by posting a video of them together in his steakhouse. However, comments such as "old video where Messi made a mistake visiting your restaurant" showed that fans definitely weren't buying it. Excluding this video, Salt Bae provided no response to his World Cup behavior until just 1 month ago, when he'd finally talk about the event in a tell-all interview. He stated, "It was a combination of my love of Argentina and my excitement. I love Argentina, I've lived there. I went to support them. Many of the team have come to the restaurant. I didn't feel a stranger, it was a special moment. I can't do anything about the reason I was there, but I would never ever step on the World Cup pitch again. There were 2 billion people watching the World Cup. How many people are speaking about me? 5 billion, the whole world. I didn't go on the pitch with the purpose of advertising. I just felt like it. Then there was a bit of a surprise. There were at least another 1,000 people on the pitch, but when they show the video, they make out it was just me. I never ever wanted to overshadow anything. I didn't like the attention, with the possible motive for the explanation being that things haven't been going so well for Salt Bae ever since that day. Just 2 weeks prior to giving that interview, Salt Bae had to close down his self-titled Salt Bae burger restaurant in New York City, which had gained a reputation for selling $99 gold-flaked milkshakes and a $100 burger wrapped in gold foil. On top of this, it's been reported.
Bro, I don't want that.
I
nigga.
wish I would. I'm sorry.
like-
I not understand people go to a lot of places for the experience and the aesthetic of things, but child, no.
Now,
I'm not paying no $100 for no burger.
I ain't finna get it twisted. That's where Nipsey Hussle got his, not from him.
Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle got his $100 mixtape thing idea from a dude selling $100 cheesesteaks in Philly. But he said it was the quality of the
But that's
food.
the thing.
And the quality, because that's the reason why he wanted to deliver quality music.
Let me tell you.
You get the
I get
gist
that,
of
but let me say this. Let me say
just
this.
rapping the gold flake don't.
Let me say, I won't say that I'll never. Let's say this. But if review after review after review is bad and everything else, ain't no way I'm about to go try one of your burger restaurants in hopes that maybe it'll be good or hopefully it'll be good and pay $100 for it when
You just rapping shit in gold and saying overcharging.
And overcharging. I'm not doing that.
Like, nigga, I don't want to eat gold.
Now, if it's somewhere that people rave about, I may give it a try. We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, sir.
He clowning himself though.
Gold-flaked milkshakes and a $100 burger wrapped in gold foil. On top of this, it's been reported that Salt Bae Steakhouse in Greece is now receiving a third of the bookings it used to, from 600 per day to approximately 200 per day, while his London steakhouse, which we discussed earlier as having some of the worst reviews in the city, recently announced that they'd be reducing their prices in, quote, what appears to be a desperate bid to entice customers back through its doors. Over the last 6 months, Salt Bae has gained approximately 300,000 followers per month, and while this is still a bafflingly high number for someone who seemingly does very little, this is the lowest growth he's had on social media since first blowing up in January 2017.
But you did show who his unfollowed growth. Cause that's important too, because even though his growth just fell off, how many of those people actually have unfollowed? You know what I'm saying? Like are people really unfollowing him? But you have to really dig into that. I ain't got time for that. But I'll say this. I do see a fall off with him. You can see it. You can, and I forgot all about the Argentina thing. And then even trying to, I didn't even like your apology because your apology made it like tried to show sympathy for yourself because
or even that
I wasn't the only one. Hold on, I wasn't the only one there. It was 1,000 people, but it just seems as though y'all can only pick me out of the whole 1,000 people. I just look like the bad guy when it just wasn't me. It was other people there. But you shouldn't have been on the field in the first place. And you kept going up to, because you even showed me the video when it happened. He was just going up trying to grab the trophy and trying to forcefully say, hey, do y'all not know who I am? My public likeness is the reason why I'm here. No, nobody give a fuck about you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't important right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're not important at all. But, my bad. You just forgot.
I don't even know what I was about to say, to be real.
Yeah.
What was you saying? See, that's why I have to say. I don't be trying to, like, interrupt you. I don't want to forget what I was trying to say. But
I was talking about him running on the field and shit.
Yeah. It is what it is. But anyway.
But you overcharging for probably poor quality service and poor quality food, bro. Like, just because, and that's what people feel like when people be thinking, oh, I got a name, they be thinking they can jack the prices up. And I know for a fact what's going to happen is they're going to lower the price at the restaurant, right? They're going to start getting the crowds in more, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as they feel like the crowd is there, they're going to slowly start back increasing it.
But then, again, like, I don't think that's smart because I can end up leaving again. People can start leaving bad reviews. My thing is, you can lower the prices all day, but still, if the quality of the food is not there, it's not there. Like, no, you can lower the prices all day, but that's not going to change the quality of the food. Like, something needs to happen. And I do be feeling like sometimes, well, I ain't gonna say that because there's chain restaurants like all over. Because I'm about to say sometimes I feel like when you know how some people have too much like under their belt and you can't be here, and you know, all at once. I feel like after a while, like I know you have chefs in the kitchen or whatever, chefs in the kitchen that you may trust or whatever the case may be.
But they might be following his recipe.
But that's what I'm saying.
And
like,
his recipe might be ass.
And it may just be ass. It may just be ass. Like, I don't know, but...
Because all y'all doing is sprinkle some salt. Nigga, are y'all like really like marinating y'all stuff? Like, how are y'all just taking it and putting it on the grill? Are y'all like putting some flavor to it? And you know, some people gonna be like, if it's cooked well, you don't need. Yeah, you do. You still, or unless you ain't got no taste buds.
I mean, to each his own. I understand people like they stuff, whatever. And then, you know, especially when it comes to like steaks and stuff, people feel like, yeah, you shouldn't cook a steak like this, or it shouldn't be like this, it shouldn't be like that.
Because we already know we're gonna get the
well, obviously it's still trash.
So
something, he ain't doing something right.
Even wrapped in the gold, it's still trash.
It's still trash. But hey, teachers, I don't know.
Or it's people saying this. You know what? It might be because of the price. People say it's trash because it's trash for the price. If it was cheap and you got that, you probably be like, oh, it was decent. It was decent. It was actually good.
Like, okay, like say for instance, you go to just like
Texas
you know,
Roadhouse. Just say
like okay, like a restaurant like that. Excuse me. But you go to a restaurant like that, but they got some good steaks for $25, $30. I don't know how much the steak is. I don't eat them.
Yeah.
But pay, you know, for $25, $30, some good steak. You know what I'm saying? But you going somewhere and spending $1,000, $2,000, you charge people $5,000 for 2 steaks.
They be like, hell no, that shit was trash for that damn price. Hell, I thought I was gonna be sitting on the smoke.
You gotta have a cow come out and say, be mooing on the honey. Give me some.
How you like the?
You better do something. Put on a show or something for $5,000, $2,000.
You see what happens when they put on a show? Somebody get hurt.
Not that. I ain't talking about no fire show. I don't want that type of show.
Or y'all dropping shit.
And I feel so bad for them.
Then he looked at it like he finna pick it up. Did you?
He thought about it.
Hey, did you not see how he looked back like?
He thought about that 5-second rule. He like, damn.
He was like, damn, y'all saw it. He thought about it, picking it up. So.
You see that? Child.
If it was back, he would have picked that bitch up and put it on the plate. I know he. Cause they probably walking around on 10, bro. Like, damn, see you here? I bet they be happy. His ass in London. Thank God, bro. You know,
right? And I'm pretty sure, like, whenever he's in whatever restaurant, you know, for that week or that month, they probably walk on eggshells because you don't want to piss him off because he seems such like a uptight, asshole. Like, yeah. So that ain't no way to work. Sorry.
Yeah, facts, man. But hey, man, make sure y'all spam us up. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it in the comment section down below. But as always, I do go by the name DJ No Kid. This is we are.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me watch out for my partner.